Party. These 2,935 people who ran for election as precinct committeemen. This is the Republican Party, not the registered voters. Once you become a precinct committeeman, you get a little handbook that tells you what to do. It's not hard. It's easy stuff. Okay? That's my precinct, Tempe 59. It's about a mile square. There's about 1,000 Republicans in it. This is LD 17. South Scottsdale, North Tempe. This is a walking list I used to get my signatures. It took me 45 minutes to get 15 signatures. I only needed 10, but I got 5 to be safe. Took my kids along. It was a good civics lesson. This tells me, I walk outside my house, I look left, I look right. This is in house order, both directions. Tells me which houses have Republicans in them, which houses have Republicans who religiously vote every election. The last 4 elections, they always voted. You knock on those doors. Usually this is the response you get. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, I'm Dan Schultz. I'd like to become your precinct committeeman. I need some signatures. I'd like yours. You're a Republican like me. And you can also knock on independents' doors. Not Democrats. Independents or Republicans. Usually this is the response you get. What's a precinct committeeman? And you tell them, I'm going to be your liaison to the party. If you have any questions about the party, you call me and I'll try to answer them. And you can come to the monthly meetings if you want. And usually it's like, I'm glad somebody's doing it. And you know what? Nobody's ever knocked on my door before from the Republican Party. And then what do? Now you've made a friend, okay? And you're going to get that guy to vote for your candidate when it comes time for the election. This is how hard it is. 10 signatures on this form. 10. You can sign for yourself, so you really only have to get 9. And in some precincts, you only need 3 signatures. So if you and your wife become precinct committeeman, you sign for her, she signs for you, and you go get 1 more Republican. That's it. Oh, there's one more thing. It's really hard. You have to fill out this form. It basically says, I live in my precinct and I'm a registered Republican, and it's witnessed by 2 people. Or you get it notarized. That's it, folks. Has anybody ever told you this in the Republican Party? No. You know why? They don't want you. Because they like things just the way they are. So why do you want to become a precinct committeeman? It's where the real power is. If you become a PC, the candidates call you. John McCain called me back in 2009. His campaign did. Ring, ring, ring. Oh, hi, Mr. Schultz. It's John McCain's campaign calling you. We're asking for your support. Why? Because you're a precinct committeeman. I go, well, why would I want to support John McCain? And pretty much hung up the phone. Now, again, you can caucus before the primaries. If you've got a majority of conservatives in your district, you can caucus and then endorse candidates in the conservative candidates. But you got to get a majority. Okay? And again, most legislative districts, I think the greatest percentage of filled slots in any legislative district in Maricopa County is it maybe, how many is it?
It's mine.
What is it?
I only have like half a dozen PCs, and I have an entire
Oh,
district.
okay. All right.
So
Okay.
we need a lot of work in
Yeah.
the district.
But most right now are around the 35, 40, 50% mark. If you fill up all of these empty slots, folks, you can take over the Republican Party. Then you get to elect new conservative party leadership. And then you also get access to voter vault, which gets you these walking sheets for free, which helps you get out the vote for these candidates. Only precinct committeemen get to vote for the party leaders. Only precinct committeemen get to select nominees to fill vacated state representative and Senate seats. When all these people got out of the legislature, Pamela Gorman and a few others, oh, I'm going to run for Congress. Those seats by Arizona law had to be refilled. Did any of you vote in any of those elections?
No.
You only did if you're a precinct committeeman.
I actually voted beyond the
one of the three to go.
Oh, okay.
Seats.
Yeah, the way it works here in Arizona is when there's a vacancy like that, the precinct committeemen from that district get together. They select 3 names to give to the county board. And then the county board selects one of the names. Well, if you've got a conservative majority, you select 3 conservatives. And then no matter who they pick, it's a conservative, becomes a new incumbent. That's political power. And guess what? They're trying to get a bill passed right now. Some guy named Farnsworth on the Judiciary Committee is holding it up, but there's a guy named Dlowan who's trying to get this bill passed so that take the Board of Supervisors out of it. So the precinct committeemen select 1 person. We're going to try to get that passed and changed. So, and precinct committeemen are, like I said, are in the best position to change the outcome of this all-important, traditionally very low turnout primary election. The most important election is the primary. The real ball game of politics is played inside these political parties. Registered voters aren't in the ball game. I'm sorry. Registered independents, like I said, aren't even in the stadium. And again, only precinct committeemen get to vote for the party leadership. So I've got a whole bunch of information here I'm going to race through. All this is about is how many counties we have, and Arizona's got 2,239 precincts, 30 legislative districts. We got 18 legislative districts in Maricopa County. The legislative districts are divided up into precincts, and we've got 1,142 precincts. And there's about 1 PC for every 125 registered voters, or portion thereof. And again, only precinct committeemen elect the party leaders. You get to elect the district, the county, and the state officers of the party, delegates to the presidential nominating convention, and RNC members. I have a friend in Vermont. I blog on redstate.com. There's a guy in Vermont I know. He's been going to his local party meetings. He said, okay, I'm ready to become appointed as a precinct committeeman. They said, well, you know what we'd really like you to do? We'd like you to run our get out the vote effort, and we'll pay you to do it here in our county. And he said, you don't have to pay me, but instead of paying me, will you make me a delegate to the National Republican Committee, the nominating convention? And they said yes. Just because he showed up. You know, Woody Allen used to say 90% of making it in life is just showing up. That's a perfect example. Like I said, in 2008, over 2/3 were vacant. Right now, we're almost up to half of the slots filled. And you got to quit blaming other people for what's wrong in this country. I blame we the people. The first 3 words in the Constitution are we the people. We the people have been out to lunch for generations. We got to get up off our, try not to swear here, get asses and get involved in politics like never before. And I'm guilty as charged. I didn't do this. I didn't get into this until 2007. I thought sending money, I thought working on campaigns was enough. It's not enough. We've got to take over the party. I went through this already about how many slots are in Maricopa County. There's about 6,700 slots now, and we've only got 2,935 of them filled. Back then it was 1,989. It's still pathetic, folks.
I got a question.
Yes.
Are we being competed against by the rhinos for these spots, or are they
Very little. Very little.
Really?
Very little, though. Yeah, in some districts, yes, but they're out to lunch. Yeah. But they're going to catch on, and I'm going to tell you more about this in a second. Okay? Real quick.
I'll tell you something real quick. I volunteered one time at John McCain's office in San Phones when Sarah Palin was coming here, and they gave me one of those papers, and they said we need precinct committeemen because there's too many far-right people there. So I signed that. They did all the other paperwork. I just ended up being a PC. I didn't even know what it was. But that's what they're doing.
What the rhinos do is this. They go around and they find little old ladies. They get all the signatures for them. They get them on the ballot. Then they get their proxies, and then they vote their proxies. That's what the rhinos do. And it's first come, first served to become an appointed PC. But the saving grace in Arizona is you still have to stand for election to become an elected precinct committeeman. Only the elected PCs get to vote for the leadership. But again, there's a wrinkle because we're going through redistricting. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But let me get through the rest of this. So, of those 710,000 now registered Republicans here in Maricopa County, there has got